Beyond Sandbox is already shaping up to be the ultimate physics playground, with bold claims from the developers about what this game is capable of. What if we took what we know about the game and create some crazy mini-game ideas that would be amazing to play and fun to create? Now imagine battle royales where you're a ragdoll, first-person shooter games with gravity shifts every kill, Russian roulette with a brutal consequence, and a game where you can have jiggle. No, we're not doing this again. We're diving into 22 insane minigame ideas that would turn Beyond Sandbox into the ultimate chaos simulator. And if you want 10% off all VR games, then head down the description where you can see a link. So first is what I call Ragdoll Royale. So Ragdoll Royale is a battle royale where everyone moves like a drunk noodle. The only way to fight is to flail and throw your arms at enemies, grab weapons in midair, and pray physics is on your side. One wrong step and boom, you're launching yourself into oblivion. Think along the lines of Gang Beasts or Stick Fight in VR. The last floppy fighter standing wins. So next is Reverse Horror, the final boss. So what if you were the final boss, where one player is a near invincible monster with insane physics powers, being able to throw people, smash walls, regenerate limbs, and survivors must work together to exploit weaknesses and take the boss down before it's too late. Kind of similar to that of the Vigo, or kind of playing like the tank in Left 4 Dead. If you ever played that game, shout out to Left 4 Dead. Every time the boss kills someone, they get stronger. So the next idea for a great game in Beyond Sandbox is a first-person shooter, but every kill changes gravity. So what if every kill you had in this first-person shooting game changed gravity? The ceilings became floors, walls turned into deadly pits, and one wrong step could send you flying, and you must adapt or fall, literally. So next is what I call black hole survival, where you're strapped on a collapsing space station being sucked into a black hole with zero-G physics that make movement unpredictable. The doors jam and debris flies everywhere, and you must work together to escape. But there is only one escape pod to escape in, so sacrifices must be made. So next is Russian Roulette Backstab Edition. So regular Russian Roulette is just too basic. The twist on this is that you can shoot another player instead of yourself, but if the gun doesn't fire, you have to pull the trigger on yourself next. This would be a perfect game for Beyond Sandbox to utilize, but your friendships would probably get destroyed. So next we're going to utilize the dismemberment features with Dismemberment Deathmatch. So imagine in an arena where the goal isn't just to kill, but to rip off as many limbs as possible before your opponent dies. If we lose an arm, no problem, bite someone instead with the biting physics, and the last player standing or crawling wins the game. So this is one of my personal favorites. So this is the most stupid battle royale ever. So this is a battle royale with normal weapons that exist. Instead, you fight with spring-loaded boxing gloves, exploding jetpacks, and throwable chairs. And the final zone is a moving platform over a volcano. This would be pure chaos. So next, I don't really have a name for, is what I call the body swap shooter. So every time you shoot someone in this game, you swap bodies with them. If you're low on health, no problem at all, just shoot someone with full HP and steal their bodies. Strategy meets total confusion. So my next idea is everything is a weapon. In this mode, anything can be used as a weapon. Trash cans, fish, even other players' severed limbs. The more creative the kill, the more points you get. This would be great considering the weapon system invites this kind of physics interactions. So next is the VR Puppet Master. So one player controls an army of AI enemies with gestures and voice commands. The others try to survive and outsmart a living god. The Puppet Master can spawn enemies, pick up objects, and even control mini-bosses directly, kind of along the lines of the Vigo, which we've seen mentioned before, so kind of like that. So next is what I call Momentum Madness. Now this means that every time you get hit, you get faster. Eventually you're a human missile zooming across the map at light speed, turning yourself into a literal weapon. I mean, that's all I really had for that one, but it seems fun. So for this one, I had the idea of like a physics-based Hitman game. It's a stealth mode where every kill must look like an accident. Drop a piano, trick an NPC into traffic, or set off a Rube Goldberg style trap. The AI will get suspicious if too many accidents happen too fast. Basically a good VR Hitman game. Ha, sorry Hitman. So the next one is the Floor is Lava VR Deathmatch. Now in this game, every few seconds, part of the map turns into lava. You must climb, grapple, and push your enemies into the fire, and survival is all that matters. This one is pretty simple. So next we got Escape the Giant. So you and your friends are tiny people being hunted by a physics-based giant controlled by another player. the giant can grab, throw and even eat players, and you must work together to take them down before you're all crushed. So next is an interesting take on Jenga, which is what I call the ultimate VR Jenga battle mode. So there is a giant Jenga tower, but players must climb and fight on it, while a larger being removes pieces. There's one bad move and the entire thing crashes down, taking everyone with it. So next we got Beyond Squid Game. So every time you have any kind of sandbox game, they always create something about Squid Game. I'm looking at you, Roblox. And yes, believe it or not, that was me 3 years ago. So this is Squid Game, but with physics-based chaos. Red light, green light, where the momentum makes stopping impossible. Tug of war, but with players flailing off balance. Glass bridges, where weight and movement actually shatters glass. And a shape cutter challenge, where falling means getting sliced in half. This would be Squid Game on steroids. And this one was just an interesting one that was just started with a play on words, which is Gorilla Tag Doll. So ever played Gorilla Tag? You probably have. Now imagine it with Beyond Sandbox physics and jetpacks, guns, explosives. You could kind of say that's kind of like Animal Company. But in this game, you have to swing, climb, and launch yourself at opponents to tag them. But the physics are so extreme that one wrong move can send you flying across the map. The result? Absolute chaos. So next up, we got Gravity Golf Mayhem. It's a golf course where the laws of physics are completely broken. Each hole has its own unique gravity. One hole pulls balls to the ceiling, another makes them orbit obstacles, and some have portals that teleport your ball randomly, and probably add some guns in there, why not? So next, I got Meat Grinder Escape. Players are inside a gigantic physics-based meat grinder, and the goal is to not get turned into mincemeat. The walls close in, conveyor belts speed up, and massive spinning blades force players to use parkour, grappling hooks, and teamwork to stay alive. The last player standing wins. So next we got Elastic Escape. Players are tied together with a bungee cord and must navigate an obstacle-filled death course while being constantly yanked around by each other. If one player moves too far, the cord snaps them back, sending them flying into traps. The team must use momentum and careful coordination to escape before the time runs out. Next then we got Catapult Clash. It's a PvP game where movement is 100% physics based. Players can use catapults, slingshots and explosive barrels to launch themselves across the battlefield while trying to attack opponents mid-air. Next then is Human Pinball. This is pretty self-explanatory, but basically you are the ball. You can launch yourself or get launched into a massive pinball machine style arena built with full physics, Ragdoll Chaos and score-based objectives. And there's probably guns there, machine guns and rocket launchers, because you know, why not? The goal is to rack up as many points as possible before the time runs out. So which one of these crazy game ideas do you like the most? Let me know down in the comments and suggest to me some crazy game ideas you got yourselves and I'll put them in a video. And don't forget, I got a giveaway that's going to appear right now on screen. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.